how you make this all so much harder than it has to be. One of the mistakes we make when trying to do something in life that isn't already habitual and fairly easy for us is that we just make the doing of it more difficult than it could be. We design, without realizing it, the situation to be reliant on willpower. We hope that when it comes to the decision o'clock, we'll just make that decision that we kind of feel we ought to, or that we know will lead us to the longer term benefits. But we've set that whole situation up to make that decision pretty hard to make. Ultimately, willpower is a finite resource. It runs out, and it's only needed for things that, at least at that point, we don't really want to do. We can set up countless decisions and situations in our life to make the decision that we want to make, that will lead to that longer term success, the easier decision to make. Often our approach to what we're doing, exercise and eating wise, is a little bit like going to a strip bar and trying not to look at the strippers, and then being annoyed at ourselves when we do. Our decision was made when we chose to go to the strip bar. Our other half would not be angry at us per se for the looking, it's the fact that we chose to go in the first place because we made it a foregone conclusion that that was going to happen. In the same way we made it a foregone conclusion we were going to eat that tub of Ben and Jerry's and down that bottle of wine when we bought that tub of Ben and Jerry's, popped it in the freezer, and we stuck that bottle of wine in the fridge. We made it a foregone conclusion that we were going to miss our workout when we didn't have our workout gear with us, when we didn't put that workout in the diary and treat that time blocked thing in the same way we would do a work appointment that maybe has to move but is actually scheduled and is treated with a degree of protection, of ring fencing, of not just putting something in willy-nilly and then not being able to do it. We make it more likely that we're going to eat less well when we do our weekly food shop. We make it more likely we're going to get a takeout when we don't have stuff in already at home. So how are we making it harder than it has to be? How are we doing the equivalent of going to a strip bar and trying to tell ourselves we're not going to have a look? How could we just do the equivalent of not going to a strip bar? How could we make it so the decision that we want to make and we know will benefit us is the easier decision, or at least considerably easier than we've set it up in the past?